let's just test it out. Hey, what's up? I'm Dominic.
What's up?
Just say a sentence so I can like see if it catches you too.
Big ass titty.
Oh, I love that. I'm putting that in. We live, baby.
Just can't.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I need more alcohol.
We'll get you some. Oh my gosh, what is going on, everyone? Dominic Echandia here, bringing you a brand new series that I am calling. What am I calling it?
I don't know. You texted me the name of it. Hold on. We have too many drinks already.
I haven't even had one.
Cars and cocktails.
Cars and cocktails. There it is. All right, let's rewind real quick and we'll do that again. What is going on, everyone? Dominic Echandia here, bringing you a brand new series. This is episode 1 of
Cars and cocktails.
Oh, that's what it's called. Cars and cocktails. Yeah, so I am starting this series, Cars and Cocktails, where I get to bring in a guest of my choice and basically bro down and talk about cars. And what better way to start it than with, you know, my AutoZone hat and my AutoZone glasses from a Formula Drift event that my very good buddy Trevor here was able to join me on. So, Trevor, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me and cooking for me.
Oh yeah, dude. We housed a. By the way, this video is not sponsored by AutoZone, so we're gonna put my.
But if they want to sponsor it,
right.
We're open.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes, if you guys want to, I'll start my videos every time with the AutoZone stuff. But anywho, yeah, dude, thanks for coming by. We had to bro down. I had to make sure that I fed my buddy here. I love to eat. Honestly, most of the time when we eat together, I feel fat because I eat more than you.
Facts.
But yeah, man, I figured that you'd be the perfect person to start this off with, and I'd like to do a little toast real quick.
Cheers. I'm drinking the same thing. I just like my drinks cold in my glass.
Cheers, brother. We got a, again, not a sponsor, but a White Claw. I'm not typically a White Claw kind of gal, but anything with 8% alcohol you can count me in for.
Again, if White Claw does want to sponsor, we're fine with that. I only have 40 in my fridge.
Any brands that want to sponsor us. Because right now we have 0. I have about 57 subscribers right now.
Here's looking at you, flaming hot Cheetos.
I wanted to bring you by, obviously we're going to talk a little bit about cars today, but you have a, go ahead, tell us what kind of vehicle you have.
So I have, some might be upset since this is more of a Mustang channel, 2014 LS Camaro. I know my car's missing 2 things. I believe it's called cylinder 7 and cylinder 8. So I know in the comments, I get it. And also the car's name is Sally, which is normally a Mustang name from the song. Never let an ex-girlfriend name your car. That's all I'll say. But yeah, have the car now. I've had it since it was brand new. I got a pretty good deal on it. What happened was my sister totaled the car we shared while I was at college. And because, you know, I was an amazing student, I had to go to summer school, but I needed a car because I went to West Virginia. So that's how that came about. It was actually cheaper than the other car I was looking at, which was a Dodge Dart. And I'm very happy I chose a Camaro.
Yeah. I would definitely take a V6 Camaro over a Dodge Dart any day, even though people
It was sponsored by Tom Brady, though.
What, the Dart?
Yeah.
And they can be cool cars. Don't get me wrong, any car can be a cool car if you make it one. But, like, in my opinion at least. But, like, I would definitely take the Camaro. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I was looking up some of the specs on your car. Do you know how much power your car gets?
323.
Yeah, 323 to the crank with 278 pound-feet of torque. And it also comes in a 6-speed manual, which is what you have.
Yeah, they only sell at the time they only sold the LS in manual.
Really?
Yeah,
I did
V6
not know
were
that.
only manuals.
Nice. So yeah, my ex-girlfriend actually had a RS V6 in an automatic, and I did not have a V8 at the time. My dad had the Mustang, which is now mine, but I didn't own a V8 myself. I had a V6 Charger that was a 2.7 liter V6 Charger. And
you had a Charger before?
My first car.
Okay, that makes sense now on why you're like all gung ho about
I love Chargers. That's the only reason I love Chargers so much. It was my first car. It was it was the coolest car to have for a first car. And then my dad originally wanted to get me a V8, but was smart enough not to get me a V8 because the car still ended up going fast at some point.
You still shouldn't have a V8.
It just wasn't right away, you know? Like, it took a while. Like, I'm very happy he got me the V6. There was two V6s. There was a 2.7 liter and a 3.5 liter. I was gifted with the 2.7 liter, which a Honda Civic base model beat me off the line with. But when I got
those Honda Civics.
But when I got it moving, it would go. It was just like off the line. The low end torque was absolutely horrific on the car. It weighed 4,000 pounds, so you figure the only good thing I was getting was good gas mileage.
Yeah.
So the back to the whole V6 thing, and kind of why we're bringing this up today. Trevor is kind of back and forth about either continuing to do some things to the car. He has very, very minor. Well, I shouldn't say very minor. I'm lying. He's got a crazy sound system
that I've done twice now.
And I don't mean like a sound system like, oh, upgrade a couple speakers and like 2 subs. He's got like some of the best quality audio in this car that I've ever heard in a car. And I love good audio. I have pretty decent audio in my my Mustang, I would say, compared to a lot of other people. But like, this is blow out of the water 90% of cars on the road that aren't like 8 subs and 12 speakers, right? He's got like a fair amount of stuff in the car that it's perfect. So aside from the audio, you just have the exhaust?
So I guess we'll go down the history of what I've done to the car.
Okay.
I used to work at an electronics store, and one of my favorite speakers are Bowers & Wilkins, and the Bowers & Wilkins rep came into the store, and he took out these 2 6.5-inch drivers, and the magnets on them had to be like this big, and I was like, you know what? I think those will fit in my door panels. So to take the door panels off the front and right side door, it's easy. It takes a couple minutes, you do it, installed it. I was like, great. I turned it on to play, and I'm like, these don't have enough power. The amplifier I had at the time was just a basic Kenwood, the ones that like fit under the seats and stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna need to have some more power for these bad boys. So at the time, I got a discount on a Hiphonics amp, and it was the Brutus line. It was a 600 watt amp. So I was powering 150 RMS to these speakers, and it was great. I then got a Hiphonics Brutus 2200 watt amplifier for subs. I got 2 12-inch Kicker Comp RTs, and then I got a full Kicker Q. Just basically went to the highest level of speakers they have on the discount and bought those. And they're coaxial speakers, so they're separated tweeters, and each set of speakers have their own passover. It's a 2800 watt sound system.
So basically, big boom, quality, like this, it sounds nasty.
Oh,
right?
And the head unit, I found that's what was making all the buzz. So I got a SS head unit with navigation, and then found someone online to hack into it to put my car VIN on it. So a car that should factory not be allowed to have navigation has factory navigation, so that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
My cousin at the time worked at a Chevy dealership, and he's like, oh, that's not supposed to happen. I was like, money.
Nice.
And then the only other thing I did externally was I have winter rims, because at the time I was driving in West Virginia, and also the snow in Jersey sucks. So those rims look more like the SS rims, which are the rims I want to get. Those look good, and then I did a full catback Corsa exhaust.
Corsa or Magnaflow?
Magnaflow. I get confused because I was looking at both, and that's pretty much it. Now, there's a lot more that I want to do to the car, and that long story introduces our discussion.
Yes. The V6 platform you said has an iron block? Aluminum block.
And dual overhead cams, which I didn't know until I watched a YouTube video recently, and that's like a pretty good thing to build upon.
Yeah, it's definitely a platform to build pretty well on. So when you sent me this kit it's a Pro Charger kit.
Yeah, it's a stage 1 kit.
Stage 1. It's a bolt-on that makes 165 additional horsepower, so you can get pretty much
to 480-ish.
480 to the wheel. Mm-hmm. So over 500 horsepower.
Yeah, which my exhaust would probably sound sick.
It would be nasty.
Yeah.
And so this sparked my...
What's the price? Did you just toot?
No, that was the ice.
Oh, okay. I was about to be like, whoa.
That's a bold thing to do on camera.
Yeah, I was like, that mic's picking it up.
No, that was ice dropping into the bin.
Oh, okay. It caught my attention for a second.
Complete system starting at $57.99.
There's the problem.
Yeah. So we are not loaded here, but $5,800 is a down payment on another car, right? So your car has how many miles? 75,000 miles. And I'm sure it still has plenty of life. You take good care of it. Yeah. It's got a whole new fuel system. But the question here is, do you spend $5,800 and make your car almost 500 wheel horsepower with plenty of playful torque? Or do you go with a V8? And this is kind of where Trevor and I kind of are unsure. So, like, Trevor said if he was to go with a V8, he'd buy a brand new one. Here we go. 2021 Camaro 1 SS is what it says here. Maximum horsepower, 455 horsepower. And it's the LT1. So, here's, you know what I mean? Like a car that, and in your scenario, would be brand new. Right? So, it'd have... When you buy it, you'd probably buy some of the creature comforts that you want, right? And a more modern car, because 2014 is not that far away, but definitely cars have advanced significantly since 2014. So it's pretty close in power. If you weren't to supercharge the V8,
yes.
Like you're going from what you're currently in.
But that car would be a new car, and new cars are new cars.
Right.
Well, so like if I was to buy an SS, probably buy it in blue because that's my color. I probably wouldn't do much because I order anything that I wanted, like the dual exhaust and stuff, and probably wouldn't touch it. Just
you wouldn't
keep
do
it stock.
Exhaust.
Probably wouldn't do. Well, the performance exhaust for the SS actually sounds pretty good.
Okay, so you're saying if you went SS, it would be all bone stock.
I wouldn't want to touch it just because it was so new and so nice.
So
where with my Camaro, like I'm getting to the point where I might like for the longest time, every little thing bothered me on the car. Whereas now I might have a ding and I'm like, well, it's close to 80,000 miles.
Right, but here's the flip side for your case. Like, if you supercharge it and things start going wrong, this, that, and the third, like, is it going to be a bothersome to you, or are you going to enjoy the fact that you have to dive back into the car?
I like working on my cars.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, because that for me, now that I'm in a different situation, it's great, but at one point when it was just me, just the car, it is kind of my daily, but not, because Emily and I use the Jeep a lot, so I'm fortunate enough in that matter. But like when like I was diving into the car and then things were going wrong with it, like sometimes it was a pain because like you're out of a car.
Yeah. If I didn't work from home, I'd probably think a different way. But my job's remote.
Right. Well, I'm hoping also I should hopefully maybe soon have a daily, so we'll see. But yeah, I think that based on your situation right now, right? And this is obviously case by case, but I think that your V6 has a very good platform that people sleep on. Like I think V6s in general, and even like 4 turbos, get a lot of crap from people who are into V8s, at least again in like a Mustang or a Camaro perspective, we'll call it. The lower trims, right, with the 4-cylinder turbo or the V8s are very frowned upon by a lot of people, which I don't know why. Like today I actually was looking up the Ego Goose Mustang, and I was like, dude, this car is sick. Like out the box, with a 4-cylinder turbo, you're getting a little over 300 crank horsepower, and then minor bolt-ons, like literally like a full exhaust, turbo back exhaust, a tuner, and an intake. You're pushing over 300 wheel horsepower. You know what I mean? And it sounds great, and like it's a great platform. It handle absolutely incredible, and like if you get a 18 or newer in an automatic, you have a 10-speed automatic. Dude, you're slapping any 4-cylinder turbo on the street that doesn't have a big turbo kit all day long.
Well, I mean, I was 19 with my Camaro when I got it, and it was 323 horsepower, and I'm just like, oh my god. Now my dad always makes fun of me because when we went to the lot, so I've been working since I was 14, so my parents helped me out a little bit with it. We split the cost of it.
Yeah.
But like, I grew up watching the Transformers movies, and I'm very influenced by movies.
And that was like the car to have.
And like the Camaro, I was just like, oh, that's so nice. And also, I like Smokey and the Bandit, so the Trans Ams. So unfortunately, Pontiac's not around anymore. But the Camaro, I was always like, oh, that's cool. And I think it was the first year they brought it back from the awful 2000s era Camaro.
Yeah.
We
The
went
10, 11, 12.
Yeah, we went to the car show, and this was before their car builder was on their website, and you'd had to wait in line to build your car. And like, I waited in line for like 2 hours and built out my car.
And you were like, this
and then
is it.
When I was in the dealership, they're like, Trevor, you're not talking. And I was like, I don't think this is real. So I still have a lot of fun.
It was exciting.
Dude,
at 19 years old, 300 horsepower is a lot. That's what I was saying. My ex-girlfriend had one at 14. We were 19, 20 years old. You know what I mean? So like, it was awesome. It was the funnest thing ever to have over 300 horsepower just playing around. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My dad had a 10 or 11.
Oh, really?
In Bumblebee Yellow.
Oh, damn.
A V6 manual. And even my Uncle Gary was like, I drove the car and was scared. Like, the car was fast. Mm-hmm. So the V6s, at least in the in the Camaros, and I think certain V6 Mustangs make power and can make power. Mm-hmm. I pulled up to a car meet one time, and there was a V6 Mustang, same body style as mine, all black, and he revved it, and it was just like the loudest thing I had ever heard, and he said he was doing 11s all day long. And he said they were getting ready to do a boost to it. Damn,
I mean, coming from you saying it's loud is loud.
Yeah, loud.
Did you almost blew my eardrums off?
I sure... With my previous exhaust.
He's like, yo, hear my exhaust. I'm like, okay. I stand immediately an inch from his exhaust.
Oh, he stands behind. There's like a what would you call that? A hump on like where
like a mulch hump.
The mulch hump right behind where the car was parked. So he stands there, and I just whomped on it.
And I'm just like, ow.
And Trevor's ears probably were shot. They were probably shot.
I mean, my ears already. I have awful hearing because I was in drumline, but like that was bad. That was very bad.
It's loud. It was basically a straight pipe from the cat's back, and it had long tubes, so it was loud, very loud. That video is on my channel, by the way, if you want to hear that exhaust setup. And I promise you, the camera doesn't even do it justice. It was an older camera, but it doesn't do it justice. Like it loud. But yeah, back to the whole V6 versus V8. I think in your scenario, I think sticking with the V6. Mm.
But if I did the V6, there's other things that I want to do to the car.
All right, let's talk about that.
All right, so
I already know one of them. I know one.
I like rear wings.
He's not talking about like a spoiler. Like he's talking about like
the
Fast
biggest
and Furious
wing you can put on as possible.
You know, like the ZL1s, the new ZL1s that have like those big, like bigger than that.
Imagine Viper ACR body kit for a Camaro. That's the wing I want on my car. I want a wing so big it can't fit in a garage.
Big wangs.
Yes, big wangs. I want to do that. I want to do Lamborghini doors because there's a bolt-on kit for it.
He's the guy, like the guy that you guys pull, and he's like, "Oh, what the hell?" But this is his style, man. I can't.
I told you this once, and you just laughed at me. So I mentioned it earlier. I like Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you're going to say.
I want to get a Smokey and the Bandit vinyl kit and put the Screaming Chicken on the hood of my car. Just like, more so just to be more obnoxious about it. Because like, if I do all this, like, I'm going to make it me.
All right, here's the deal. I'm on board with all of this after it's supercharged.
Oh, the vinyl kit would be after because I want to get it wrapped first.
And the spoiler.
I want to get an electric blue wrap with a silver and black Screaming Chicken.
All right, but you have to get the spoiler.
Well, I want to do the order I would want to do it is
ProCharger.
Well, that's a lot of money. I gotta save up for that.
All right, do it.
I want to get
ProCharger.
SS wheels.
Okay, which I can find you on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh yeah, I already saw some people.
Okay, and you can get them for price.
But I want
super
20
inexpensive.
insurance, like $400 or $500 for all 4. But that's if they're a little dinged up. But I'd want to get them refinished eventually.
In which you can.
Yeah,
and
they still look good.
I honestly
from far
think you
away.
can find a really nice set for a very inexpensive price.
Yeah.
I think you can find a nice set for $400 or $500.
Yeah, and then I want to get the valance of the ZL1, so that way I can put quad tips on the car.
Okay.
And it's literally like $100 piece
For
of
the
plastic that comes off and puts back on.
And then you cut it out?
You don't have to cut it out. It literally, you take it off the bumper.
Seriously?
Put the new one on, yeah.
Dude, you had to cut it out on the Mustang.
The Camaros, you don't have to do that. I can take the SS engine, the LT5 that my dad's using right now, and that just bolts onto the 6-speed
dude, after you're done telling us your list, we got to talk about your dad's car.
All right.
We got to talk about it.
All right.
But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's what I would want to do, and then I don't know if I'd want to do a body kit or anything on it. I feel like that'd be too much, or maybe probably body kit. Yeah, body kit. But like that would be over a course of 10 years, though. That would be like
You won't even have the car by then. I doubt it.
If I did that much work into it, I would keep it.
I think if you don't do the Pro Charger within the next year, that you're not Pro Charging it. You're gonna go
within the next year.
You're gonna go SS.
$6,000. That's a lot of money. This is like my dream build for my Camaro.
You know,
but there's another idea that I just had.
we broke out here, man.
So, if I'm going to spend the money to get an SS, so I'm not going to spoil the new Fast and Furious movie, but I'm just going to go over what happened in the trailers.
Just do it.
So, Han is back.
I saw that.
That was in the trailer.
Yep.
The way they brought him back was really good.
Cool.
But the car that he drives in Tokyo Drift, which is my favorite Fast and Furious, is a Veil-side body kit on an RX-7, the black and orange car. Which is, like, whoever's seen Fast and Furious, if that's not one of your top Fast and Furious cars, you're wrong.
You're wrong!
But they had a new Supra in Fast and Furious 9, and when Han comes back driving for the first time, what car is he driving? A black and orange Veil-side body-kitted new Supra.
They're nasty.
And
they're sexy.
And the new Supra, they sell it, the GR Supra, which has the same exact body panels as that one, they just don't sell it in orange. So I would get it in all black and just body kit it in orange.
So you're saying that you're considering, instead of doing a brand new Camaro,
do that. And then eventually 2JZ swap it.
So
with the original 2JZ engine.
Those 2JZ swap Supras at Formula Drift were sick.
I didn't think it was possible. Meanwhile, that guy's just
whomping on it.
Just drifting on it.
What? I do this all day long. All day long, I just make car sounds and...
You should put a video of that car drifting, but take the audio out and just your audio.
What do you think I'm going to do?
Yeah. So those are my 3 options. I'm just going to ignore that. Of what I want to do. I think the Camaro build is the more realistic one and doing stuff over time.
Yeah. I think so.
Unless if like I start making more money or, sponsors.
Sponsors, bro! Get us in there! We need Pro Chargers! We need spark plugs! We need fuel delivery! We need it all! Get us something! The last thing I want to get into before we end this is your dad's new project. And I believe he's on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Do you know his YouTube handle?
Joel Capit.
Joel Capit.
Picture a dad, a little taller than me.
New Balances.
Yeah. I was going to say, he's a New Balance dad. That's where I was going with it.
So, first, I actually want to bring up, your dad's had some pretty freaking cool cars recently, right?
Not recently. He rebuilt a original Stingray Corvette as his first car. He had I have pictures of him our age. He's in my parents' garage just doing fiber work on.
You have that picture?
Yeah, I have it somewhere.
All right, you're gonna send it to me.
On his body panel on the car, and then someone offered him money for it after he got it driving, and he called my grandpa. And my grandpa was like, "Take the money and run," because the car just drove so bad. What a lot of people don't realize is all these old cars, like, they drive horribly, unless if like you spend a lot of money upgrading them.
Yep.
Then he got I believe he got his first job out of college, so he bought a '82, and it was blue. and he really liked that car. And then over time, he got a C4. This is where me and him argue. He bought a 92 C4 in like the weird aqua blue, like green color they had, not the good blue. He hated the C4, sold it, and then bought a 99 C5, which in Nassau blue, which I wish he kept to this day because that was my favorite of the cars that he bought.
Really?
Yeah. And like,
was it a Z06?
No, just standard edition. The good rims on it, but Nassau blue, like that's the
color.
Best blue Chevy has ever made. Chevy sucks with their colors, but when they get blue right, they get it right. And then he had that for like 15 years. My mom hit it on everything, God knows what, and they still offered him good money. But then he got I think a 2005 navy blue Viper, which was really cool. But
I was just telling Emily yesterday.
That car, the drone,
bad,
unbearable.
Really?
He even had someone from from a Mufflex sponsor him to redo his whole exhaust to get rid of the drone, and he was going to sell it. Guy probably spent $5,000 of his own money doing it. Didn't fix anything on it. Yeah. So then he sells that car and gets a brand new 2010 Viper GTS, which was a cool car. That was a cool car. He sold that because my sister and I were in college a couple years later, and 2 college payments. So then we both leave or graduate, and then he's gotten a little chunkier now. So he's like, I don't really like the C6 Vet, and I also don't really fit in the C6. The C6 had no good blue choices. It was either Admiral or Le Mans blue, which was like a more navy blue, or it was like this purple whitish blue, which looked awful. And also he wanted to get the Z06, but he didn't like that the engine cover on the Z06 wasn't real.
Oh yes, you told me that.
Which was so stupid.
No, that was the ZR1.
The ZR1,
yeah. The ZR1.
So yeah, and then he sold that, and then he got a Hellcat.
Yeah, see.
Which was really cool, a Challenger, and he got that in B5 blue with black
blue,
hood, black rims. He got black louvers. He recently sold that. But
did he have a manual or automatic?
Manual.
He had that car in manual.
Yeah.
He's got balls.
Yeah.
Dude, that car.
Talk about a car that rips.
Oh my god, dude. That's why you said you wouldn't drag race it, because you...
I wouldn't drive it.
Really?
No.
Oh, dude, I would have been like, what? I'm the burnout
spin and crash.
I'm the burnout.
That car was more dangerous to drive than his GTS Viper, which had a V10.
Well, I believe it, because you figure like 700 horsepower under a manual is like impossible, dude.
Yeah.
Like the first gears, and that's why I walked into a dealership one time to take a look at one, and I was like, and the guy's like, yeah, it's a manual. I was like, I would not buy that. He's like, why wouldn't you buy that? He's like, everybody loves manual. I'm like, absolutely. It's fun when you have 400 horsepower. When you have 700 horsepower, the first 2 gears are gone. Gone. My first 2 gears are gone. And I have 400 horsepower. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no, like, you can't contain that much power into that. Like, you gotta go with the 8-speed automatic. The computer, the technology, and what they do to these automatic transmissions is like no other. It's made to handle this kind of power. The car is made to coincide with the transmission, the power, you know what I mean? Everything goes well with these new automatics.
But there's one thing you have to remember. My dad drives like a grandma.
Right, so like to him it was like 4th gear, give it a little gas, whee! And then that was it.
Like, the car still moves though.
Like, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, and I'm sure in higher, and even then, like going 70 miles an hour, or 60, 50 miles an hour, stomping on it, I'm sure you could still spin, but it's more containable if you're at, moving the car.
Yeah.
Or have like super, super sticky drag radials on it.
Yeah. But to get to the point, so he sold that car. My aunt got a C8, and now he's in love with the C8. So now he's using that money towards the C8 fund. But he's also been building a kit car the last 3 years now.
I love kit cars.
It's an SLC car from RCR. Most people know RCR because they sell the V8 adapter to go from an LS to most other transmissions, like an Audi or Graziano edition. So if you watch Bees for Build, they make that, but They're a horrible company. I don't recommend them.
The company that makes the
kit cars.
The whole kit cars.
Yeah.
You don't like the company?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
They sell cars and then don't give anyone all the parts.
Really?
Yeah.
So your dad didn't get all the parts?
He did because my dad is OCD and bothered them.
Yeah.
So they gave him all the parts. But people will buy the car, they'll tell them it'll be 3 or 4 months. People wait years.
Seriously?
And they built all the extra cars for Ford vs. Ferrari, so no one got their cars for 6 months to a year because they were building all the movie cars.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
All right, don't buy kit cars from...
RCR.
RCR. No, I'm just kidding.
But it is a nice kit. It's just plan on it taking a year to show up. But only one other person has put an LT5 engine in it, which I believe is the Z06 engine from the C5 or the C6.
I thought it was an LS2.
No, LT5.
It
Supercharged.
is an LT5.
Yeah.
And it's
650 horsepower.
I didn't know that was supercharged.
Yeah.
And your dad's putting it as mid-engine?
Mid-engine, yeah.
And you had to get custom mounts.
He had to get
the
custom
LT5.
engine mounts, yeah.
Yeah.
To fit in that car, because the engine mounts that come with it, mostly everything in that car he's had a redesign.
When you buy the kit, does it come with the motor?
No.
Everything but the motor?
Yes.
So you get to decide what kind of motor?
Yeah.
And what motor is that typically made for? Whatever you want?
Usually an LS3.
Okay, so LS3.
Yeah.
Straight LS3, but your dad's popping an LT5.
Yeah.
An LS3 typically would make, what, 400 horsepower?
Yeah.
So he's going to be making 650 with an LT5 and supercharged.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mid-engine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot wait.
It might be rear. Yeah, I think it's rear.
Is it?
Yeah.
Either way, that's
Either way
that's
is
still awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The car.
So, first off, apologies to your dad because I haven't had a chance to really view his page. I think I forgot to ask you when we first talked about this, but go check him out because I want to go check him out. I'm excited to see this car. I would like to, when he's finished, go for a ride with your dad because it's going to be sick.
It's going to be wild.
It's going to rip the tires off. Tell him I can't drive it. When you say that Dom's coming over, to say don't offer Dom the keys because he will do a burnout.
I don't know if
I
mean you'd be able to, but it'd be pretty hard.
It would be hard. I definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't. I don't even think I would drive it. I would love to go for a ride though. My uncles have the C8 and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. When they pulled up and they were just like, here you go. I was like, this is...
Yeah, no, my aunt offered to let me drive hers and I was like, no.
I'm taking my shot.
You've only had this car for an hour.
I'm taking my shot.
I'm not going to be the reason.
I didn't go far. I literally went around the block. But I was like, I'm taking my shot. I'm definitely doing it. They wanted me to. They weren't taking no for an answer.
Yeah, it was crazy. But,
So,
I mean, it'll be a cool build. Only one other YouTuber has put an LT5 in the car, but they've chopped the frame up. So basically, if you get hit, the engine's coming through the firewall, pretty much. Okay. That's why you don't want to do it.
So your dad...
So my dad, anything on that car, part or anything, like he spent 3 months designing a different alternator bracket placement, a whole new manifold for it, like... He'll redesign everything. It's kind of crazy.
That's awesome. That means he knows what he's doing. We hope.
I mean, he ends up knowing what he's doing by the time he's done designing the part.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that is awesome, and I'm excited to see it done. And I guess we'll wrap it up there. Brother, I really appreciate you doing this with me. Episode 1 of Cars and Cocktails. That's right. I said it because I remembered it this time. Cars and Cocktails. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming. Tune in to our next episode. We're going to have a very fantastic guest in our next episode. See you in the next one.